everybody, it is Rob. So today's sort of a big deal day for me personally. I made a goal earlier this year that I was going to run 365 miles in 365 days. And initially that was supposed to have been a mile a day, but life happens and sometimes I wasn't able to run. So some days I ran more than others, but today I crossed that finish line the day before New Year's Eve. So I had one day to spare, but I met my goal. And this is one of the hardest things that I've ever done. I'm not a physically fit person, but during the course of this year-long fitness journey, I lost 63 pounds and I'm fitter than I've ever been in my entire life. And I'm quite proud of myself, so I decided I was going to reward myself with a Grail pen. For those of you new to fountain pens, a Grail pen is, a pen that you hold in high esteem. And this particular pen is one that's been talked about in some of the forums that I'm on online quite a bit as other people's Grail pens. I've only ever seen pictures of them. I've never even seen one in real life. So buying one sight unseen, let's just say it was nerve-wracking. We're going to open this and experience it together and hope for the best. I did some research, not only on the pen and the version that I wanted, but the company that I bought it from. So I have high hopes that this is going to work out well. I sure hope so. It was a small chunk of money, but I saved all year for this, and I feel comfortable with what I spent. This is just, a really special moment. I thought I would share it with you guys. So, without further ado, let's break this open. This package came all the way from Japan. If it gives you any clue as to what we're looking at here. This also happens to be my first foray into vintage pens. Please excuse the ASMR. I've never purchased a vintage pen before, so this is a first. I got a package with a converter. And it looks like a couple packages of tea, and how nice is that? Little note from my seller, which, by the way, the seller on eBay is Japan-Pix. A letter about the tea that I got. I'm actually kind of excited about that. Authentic Japanese tea. Yes, please, sign me up. There is another clue for you. It's a Japanese pen. I love my Japanese fountain pens. That packaging tape is a lot easier to get off than the US version. There's your other clue. It's a Pilot. Are you ready? This is a Pilot Mu 701. This is a pen that first made its debut on the fountain pen scene back in 1971. This particular version is stainless steel. It's considered a pocket pen. My purchase has a slight scratch here and there's supposed to be a slight ding on the end, and it is so slight I can barely see it. I don't know if you can see that, but oh, there's my ding on the body, and there's the ding on the end. But I really had to hunt for those. Please excuse the ink-stained fingers, by the way. It's got an angled cap that goes directly into the clip. It is not spring-loaded. It is functional, but it does not go over thick fabrics. So this is considered a pocket pen, and that's about all it can go into. I will be carrying this probably nowhere. This will probably live at home on my desk because this is sort of a special pen. And what makes it so special is the nib and grip section is all one piece. This is inspired, from what I understand, by the Concorde airplane. You can see from the profile why that would be. Most fountain pens have a section for the nib and the grip and the barrel. It's all separate. And this is all one piece. It takes ink cartridges or this Con 40 cartridge converter. I'm not the biggest fan of Con 40. I don't know yet which other converters will fit in there. I don't think a Con 50 will fit in there, certainly not a Con 70. So I may just stick with ink cartridges. For now, I plan on just keeping this inked with Pilot Classic Blue Black. I'm just going to ink this up like I would any other pen. When you're doing an ink cartridge insertion, there's two ends, obviously. This is the end that goes in the pen. This is not the end. There's sort of a wax plug down in there, and that seats inside. You can see there's a spike inside there that punctures the wax seal. So the trick is you want to insert this end into this end with the pen held vertically so that splash is much less likely to happen. And you want to do this with intention. So commit to it and just do it. There it goes. You heard the click. That is loaded. Now, a lot of times you're told you can give a slight squeeze until you see a little bit of ink start to come around the feed. I'll give that a try. The way this pen was described on the eBay listing, it is used, but barely, and it's in perfect functioning condition. We shall see if I can get it to write. Gentle squeezes are the name of the game. You don't want to flood the chamber. I'm just trying to get a little bit to come down the feed. I don't see much happening, so let's just cap this. This pen is designed to be posted, which means that the cap goes on the end, like so. Without the cap, Holding it is possible, but it's short. The end of the cap touches the fleshy part, and there's not a lot of balance in that. But if you post the cap, you have a little bit more to work with, and that's much more comfortable. Let me clean up just a little bit and get some nice paper, and we'll see if she's working. Let's see if there was anything included in this package. Sometimes things are tucked underneath. Like a cartridge converter or an ink. This doesn't come out very easily. And then to see under there. Pen was sold just as is. Some tea. All right. Let's cross our fingers and see if this works. Let's find the blank page somewhere. We'll go towards the back. Try to give that another squeeze. I guess one of the concerns with buying a used fountain pen is that pen hygiene may not have been the previous owner's forte. So there may be dried ink inside this feed that's preventing it from accepting some fresh ink. I'm not particularly feeling anything moving when I'm giving this gentle squeeze, and usually you can feel a little rush of liquid as it escapes the cartridge and into the pen. And I'm not getting that sensation. And usually you can hear a bit of a sucking sound almost. I can hear that a little bit. Did I just see a bubble? I did. I saw a bubble. I've got ink. All right, let's try this. Just needed a little extra coaxing, I guess. I forgot what day it was. So the way that this was described to me by several people was that the nib, because it is so firm and does not bend, it's steel. So there's no flex or give to it. It is a toothy writer, but not scratchy. And that is exactly what that felt like. You can feel every fiber of paper underneath the nib, but it's not scratchy. I have some that are like using a nail, and this is nothing like that. I don't know if you can hear this. I should not be surprised. My favorite pens are Pilot pens. I love their nib experience. The smoothest writers I've ever used. I like a smooth writer. This is toothy but still smooth, if that makes sense. It's not scratchy at all. You can just feel the paper texture. It's an interesting sensation you simply have to try. Well, I'm going to play with this a lot more. First impressions are this is magnificent and I love it. And I'm very pleased that I chose this as my reward. This little ding here, this little ding here. That's really all that I can find. And I am perfectly fine with those. You really have to hunt for those. Congratulations to me. Thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you later.